Always, always dream big. That's a core principle of former NBA guard Mustafa Shakur, and he had to pivot his dream from basketball to entrepreneur. We'll let you know what he's doing right now at the Nasdaq MarketSite. Hello everyone, it's Jabari Young, senior writer at Forbes, and I'm at the Nasdaq MarketSite, and I'm joined by Mustafa Shakur. He is a former NBA guard, University of Arizona standout, played for the Washington Wizards, the OKC Thunder, and now the co-founder of a sports hydration, sports nutrition, Pure Fuel. Mustafa, what's up, man?
Man, thanks for having me.
Hey, man, thank you, man. You know, listen, let's let the audience know right now, right? This is my guy from Philadelphia, right? Both from Philly, man. We'll definitely dive into that. Is this your first time at the Nasdaq?
This is my very first time.
Nice, man. What do you think?
I love it.
Yeah.
I look forward to being here much more.
Absolutely, man. Listen, we're here now, so I have to ask you, is there a stock or something that you might have owned or you want to own one day, right? Low-key, nothing like Microsoft or Amazon, but low-key, something that someone could say, you know what, I'm going to get some of that too.
I hate to give a tip and not be the best at it. I would say, you know, stick to the traditional ones, like you said.
Yeah.
That have always had upside.
Yeah, and that's because they're strong, right? Have that foundation.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, listen. You right now, it's the NBA playoffs. So let's just ask one question right fast, right? Because let's go back to your old stomping grounds, OKC. When you look at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, right? That brother doing some phenomenal things down there. But when you look at him, what do you see?
I mean, first off, I would say it's an amazing organization.
Yeah.
And I think the way the Thunder put together a team and they bring in the right character player to fit in, that's a masterclass in itself right there.
Yeah. Sam Presti was there when you was there, right?
Sam Presti was absolutely there. I actually had the opportunity to play for Coach Degenalt as well in the G League at the time, so have a relationship there as well.
Yeah. What'd you learn from Sam Presti was there, man? I think he's one of the brightest basketball minds.
Absolutely. I think he has an eye for talent and leadership.
Yeah.
So it's a crazy quick story is I got my first call up in 2010-11, and I'm on the sideline, I'm warming up, I'm hoping I get a little bit of time, and I get in, you know, I suit up. He comes over to me, he says, Mustafa, I think you got something. I think you could be a coach one day. Wow. And inside, that kind of burnt me up because I wanted to play. But it took me years to unpack that and understand he was saying I had leadership qualities. So I think those things, him being able to see different things in different players, I think it's vital to build an organization.
Why didn't you want to be a coach, man? Because listen, Mo Cheeks was down there. It's a Philly legend too, man. So
absolutely.
Why you want to be?
Well, I was 28, 29 years old, and my tunnel vision, you know, Chris Paul was just here, you know, I want to be up here with the guys. I want to get out here and compete. Yeah. So I just couldn't wrap my mind around being a coach at that very moment, but it was well received.
Yeah. You think so right now? I'm getting the coach, right? Like the Arizona maybe?
This bottle in front of you, I feel like I'm doing some of that in our organization and the things I learned there for sure.
Absolutely. Well, let's dive into this bottle, man. Again, you're the co-founder of Pure Fuel, right? A sports nutrition drink. So listen, why a sports hydration drink, man? I mean, this is a tricky sector. It can be very profitable.
Absolutely.
Got a couple of companies, right? One of your competitors, Ready Nutrition, that's a Pennsylvania-based startup. Yep. I remember covering that team, man. Aaron Donald's an investor in that company, and they were predicting sales about $100 million before the pandemic hit, right? And then you have NBA icon Kobe Bryant, God bless his life, who was once an investor in Body Armor, which sold for about $5.6 billion in 2021. Kobe received about $400 million of that. This is an industry that's $41.2 billion industry, according to Ibis World, and sports nutrition makes up about $6.1 billion of that. So why this industry, and who are your demographics? How are you going to build this?
It's a great question. You know, I think me personally, I live by, you know, a few different things. Why not me? Why not now? Why not us? So when I look at those words, you know, you go back to playing basketball in Philly, being on the basketball court, playing for your AAU team. You think about how many bottles, I won't say the company, right? How many bottles of a particular company that you drank over and over and over again, and you never knew what was in it, right? You know, your coach gave it to you, you didn't have anything else, you just drank it. And then as you get older, you start to look at the back of the bottle, you're like, wait a minute, what am I actually really consuming in my body? Whatever have I been drinking since I was 10 years old? And I was fortunate enough to play high level, D1, played professionally for 12 years, and I started to dive into what was I actually putting into my body. So now it's more of also taking ownership of what we consume as a culture, as young athletes, and being able to help the next generation on that side too. So there's amazing, huge opportunity on the business side of things, but there's even a larger benefit for us doing this the right way, making sure we're giving kids, young adults, athletes the best product we can possibly put in their hands.
Yeah. What's different? What's in this bottle that's different that I'm not going to see? Because, you know, consumers have such a choice. You walk into anything, we from Philly, right? So you walk into Wawa, your cases are full, man.
Yep.
Like it's like people go for what they know, but if I see pure, if I see this in the case, why am I going to pick this up? What's in it that's going to make people say, I need more of this?
Right, so an amazing taste, right off the back, but it's plant-based, no sugar added. You got your B vitamins, electrolytes. I think reducing that sugar intake for our young athletes, inner city kids, is very important and vital. And then also having, you know, your electrolytes and B vitamins and that of the sort. But I think our brand, what we stand for, also enhances the profile of what we do. We've always been guys that are in the community giving back outside of this brand, but we've even tapped in further with our partners like Wallow and Gilly and some of the other guys that are coming on to the brand. So I think when you pick up this bottle, you understand that it stands for way more than just a regular, you know, beverage or soft drink company. There's a clear messaging behind it, and you understand you're joining a different kind of tribe that is here for the community and others.
Yeah, dive into that in a minute, but just again to make sure Andre is a supporter, right? Gilly, Wallow, equity holders as well as partners within Pure Fuel.
Absolutely.
Absolutely cool. What do you like about being an entrepreneur, man?
I love the flexibility.
Flexibility.
The flexibility. Playing basketball, you know, it takes you many ways. And sometimes you don't have a control or a say-so in that. That can be fun, right? You end up playing in Spain, or you end up playing in Italy for a couple years, and you're eating the best pasta. But you know, sometimes I won't say the country, right? I love you guys, right? A year or two, I ended up playing in Lithuania or Poland, right? But with being an entrepreneur, I think you're able to. It's unpredictable as well, but you're able to have a little bit more control of the things you do and what you create.
Yeah. Let's dive into your background a little bit, man. Again, you from Philly just like me.
Yep.
I grew up in North. You grew up in West, man. What was that like for you?
Uptown.
Uptown.
10th and Alny.
10th and Alny. Oh, so you didn't grow up in West. You grew up in Uptown.
No.
Yeah. Because you went to West Philly and then before you went over to Flint Central.
So I went to William Penn. Which was your Board and Gerard. But it was one of those things where I was just trying to find my way to play basketball. And my mom knew if I went to my neighborhood school, I would probably get into a lot of trouble with my friends. So you got to go somewhere else. Yeah. And that's where it started for me, Foundation. She always tried to make sure, hey, I got to get my son in a different school to kind of take him out of his environment. I mean, William Penn was not much better. It was a rough school. Yeah. But that's a part of my my foundation, being able to go in any building and be able to learn how to carry myself.
Yeah, William Penn, right? That's right across the street from the Blue Horizon at one point a long time ago, man.
Yep.
Yeah, that YMCA is right down the street. All this time, I thought you went to West Philly. I don't know why, man, but you was at William Penn. So you always wanted to be a basketball player?
I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to be a doctor or a psychologist first, right? And that's up until I was 11, 12 years old. But my neighborhood was full of sports players. And you look at our communities, it's not a bunch of doctors, dentists, or folks like that you can really have a mentor. Yeah. And when that didn't happen, naturally I got deeper into sports, and that became my love. But before that, I didn't want to play basketball professionally.
Yeah. So when you wanted to be a doctor and you didn't pivot that way, what stopped you from going that route?
Just not having the resources or access. Again, when you don't have a mentor, someone you can connect with and say, hey, I'll connect you with my good friend. He's a doctor. He'll give you the background of what you need to do. Typically, you tend to gravitate to the next thing that's available to you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm glad to because again, me growing up in North, I've seen a lot, and I wanted to go in certain directions, but I'm glad my family obviously pulled me back and helped me. You know what that's all about. But still, you end up at the University of Arizona. You get to play under the great Lute Olson. What's the biggest thing you learned under that legendary head coach?
Time management.
Time management.
And that's I know people will probably expect me to talk more of basketball. I learned how to come off a pick and roll. I learned how to do this. But if you saw how Coach Olson, he really dissected time in a way that you wasted none. And now when I look at business, it's very vital for me, because athletes, all right, we're notorious for not really valuing time outside of we show up and coach has everything set up. But then after that, we kind of all over the place. Okay, I want to go shoot. I want to go do this. I'm going to go to the movies, and we don't value time. But when you get into being an entrepreneur, time is so valuable. So I go back to those memories of how they had our days just designed to make sure we maximized every moment. I try to do the same thing. You know, I'm not great at it. My wife would tell you, like, you got to get better. But it's something that I can tap into from Coach Olsen.
Yeah, I'm likewise, man. I have a problem. I can't tell people no, right? And that's
that's a
that
tough
messes
part.
with your time.
Absolutely.
And you got to get better at that, man. But still, you were able to end up in the league, and you flash back in your career. You didn't get drafted, right?
Yep.
But you get an opportunity with the Wizards in 2010, OKC 2013, 25 pro games total in the NBA, played some time overseas. But shifting back to the NBA, man, what's the biggest thing you learned about that NBA business? You told me how Sam Presti broke your heart, right? What's the biggest thing you learned about that business, having navigated it?
So I learned it was a business really early on. And you think that, I think players need to learn it much sooner than they often do. I think it's a blessing with NIL now. It kind of puts kids in a position where they have to learn business, they have to learn about making money, and understand that if coach's job is on the line, he might come to practice pretty, angry or in a different type of mood. And what does that look like, right? We traditionally come from playing AAU, where the coaches are almost like an extension of the family, father figures, mothers that are taking care of us. So I think I learned that it's a business, and you have to put business first and make sure that you're doing everything you need to do to make sure that the organization is doing well as well.
Yeah, 2018 was your last time you suited up, right? Again, but you talk about your career. You just said Chris Paul was up here, right?
Yeah.
Two sides of the spectrum, right? Here you are, trying to get in, trying to make it. You go through a number of summer league teams. Very important to do that process for the young guys. But what do you tell that player that's probably most of them are going to end up, going that route where you went, where it's going to be back and forth. Unless you're that superstar player, and there's only but so few of them, a lot of it is just a journey. What do you tell that young player that's navigating that type of space?
Yeah, I think the number one thing you always hear is control what you can control, right? So put in the extra work. You get to the gym early, you stay late, you pick the coach's brain, be a good student of the game, and try to approach it with a certain passion. But outside of that, I think it's maximizing the doors you walk into and the relationships you have, because many of the relationships that I'm tapping into now is, sports related, right? And I've used that to leverage and segue into other sectors. So I'm super appreciative of that, and it's something I didn't realize would happen so rapidly, but now that I'm understanding it, it's been very beneficial for me.
Now back into the business, co-founder again of Pure Fuel. How does one start? Do you have to go through a science test? Like, you have to get this stuff scientifically proven, and how long does that take? Like, what does it take to get online?
So a lot of folks, they see our brand now and they say, wow, this happened in just 14 months. But there was at least a year and a half of research, R&D, research and development, and just making sure the product was what we thought it should be. It started off with a little bit too much sugar, didn't have enough vitamins, electrolytes, things like that. And I think, again, having a partner like SunSuite that's been in the business for over 100 years, and they're able to make sure the checks and balances are there in terms of having no hiccups. That put us ahead of the ball game, and once we came to market, we were able to take off as we assembled our team.
Yeah, did you have to test it on other athletes or some of your brothers, and maybe go back to the University of Arizona and say, how does this taste?
So we tested the product early on with a ton of different people, and they let us know right away, like, this is not it, this is not it. So we went through 3 different iterations.
Wow.
And once we got to the final ones and the response we got, we knew we had something.
Yeah. If an investor's looking at this right now, man, and says, man, I might want to go that route, right? And they're just coming off of the elevator and they're hearing this, what do you tell them on that back going the elevator down? Give them that 30-second pitch of why they should invest in Pure Fuel.
I mean, we have the best tasting product. We have the best partner you could possibly have in a young company. And what we stand for, no other company can do. Our partner, Wallow, he likes to say we control the culture. And when you have culture behind you with an amazing product, it's nothing you can't do.
Yeah.
So I would say that to an investor. So there's going to be other really good products on the market, but the culture side, the authenticity that we bring, there's no other company that can do that.
Yeah, I love what you said that, man. Wallo's certainly a guy who's, you've seen come from nothing to something and take culture and then with Gilly the Kid there, right? Two Philadelphia guys, and we both from Philly. But when you're looking at those type of partnerships, when you're looking at those brand recognition, what are you looking for? What did you want to see from these two guys to know, hey, we can bring y'all into this because we trust y'all gonna do the right thing?
Yeah, I think it's the genuine energy they have.
And genuine energy.
And I think their energy complements each other, and I think that's why they've done so well. And when you come into the marketplace with a new product, you want to do something that's different. I think the mode is to always, okay, you get an athlete and you give them the bottle, you tell them to stand there, drink it, and then you take a picture, you post it. It's like, nah, that's
You're
really,
not getting that with them.
no, and that's what we love, and I think that's been a great part of our story. It's attracted others to want to be a part of that kind of industry, something that's not so scripted, right? Life is not scripted at all, right? You try to control the narrative as much as you can, but it doesn't work that way. And I think that authenticity has shined through with us as a company.
Definitely going to be a changing, man, because again, those two guys are taking up the internet. I mean, with the podcast and getting these amazing guests, but also a sponsorship deal with the Philadelphia 76ers. That had to be something special, right? Because here you are coming from Philly, right? Again, a William Penn product, right? Not West Philly, William Penn. I'm so embarrassed, I forgot that. William Penn, not West Philly, man. But you come home and now you get something that you're involved in, an entrepreneur now, right? Your true calling, maybe, and now you got digital signage, you got presence on the bench. That must feel good to have that local support.
It feels amazing. There has been so much turmoil in the city of Philadelphia when you talk about the youth, the young people, and them not having big things that they can see outside of themselves, outside of sports and entertainment. So to now be in the food and beverage industry, it feels really good to be able to give our young folks something else to aim for and see that it's attainable. Like, man, I can do that. I can be in that sector. This is not all it is for me. So that feels amazing. And then I think also just the Sixers organization taking time to understand who we are and who our story and back us and support us, because this doesn't often happen so soon.
Yeah. Did you have to go through a number of meetings to land that? Like, how do you land it? If you're a young business, right, something in the consumer packaged goods space, and you're looking for that local team to support you, what's the one tip that you can offer, like an entrepreneur, about how to sell their product to a major franchise like that?
So this was over the course of maybe 5 to 6 months, right? It may seem like it happened quick when folks saw it come to fruition, but the one thing I would probably point out is remain authentic. You may feel swayed to walk into Nasdaq or different rooms, and you feel the need to be something other than what you are. But I think teams like the Sixers and other franchises, they're looking for unique things that they can continue to build their franchise with as a partnership. So understand that you have an inherent value that's different from anyone, and tap into that and understand how you can leverage that authenticity of yourself.
Yeah. Now, how are you guys making money? Right. I mean, the shelf space, is it there yet? Are you in shelves? Are you in stores? What's that looking like?
Yeah, we're continuing to grow. I think the Northeast is our main focus, and we're starting to pick up some steam there. Obviously, Philly, Baltimore, DMV area. We have some special projects that are coming up that folks will see soon. In other areas in the Northeast, in the Northwest. So we're excited there.
Yeah, you got to get in the Wawa, man.
Okay. Absolutely.
Got to get in there.
Absolutely. Hopefully, by the time this airs, that's done. But that's perfect. You bring that up.
Man, my team turned this around really quick, man. I don't know if we're gonna be that fast, man. Hey, man, look ahead. Got some macroeconomic stuff to get you out of here. Staff, thank you so much for the time again, man. I'm assuming that you have made $1 million, right? If so, how did you spend it?
Investing.
In what?
I've invested in real estate. I started early, 2009, 10-ish. That was my first entry into understanding how to be an entrepreneur. Tech companies, following Andre Iguodala around and understanding what he's doing. I've invested in a few really good companies with Andre, being able to learn from from him has been great.
Yeah. Any major investment that you're proud of, that you're involved in, that you would say now?
I can't say the name of the company, but it's one that everyone knows that's pretty popular. Like I'll ask Andre if we can mention it, but it's a really good one.
Talk to them about that after you get the investment. That question's out there. Hey, listen, man, look back at college basketball, right? Because you had a great career at University of Arizona, and now NIL is in the scene, right?
Yep.
Money's being made. Older generations maybe not happy about that, some of them. But what do you see in college basketball, and college sports as a whole with NIL? And what would you tell that player today about how to experience and how to navigate that landscape?
I would tell young players to obviously take advantage of the opportunity, because it's a new marketplace for athletes. But I would say keep the main thing, which is being a college athlete and growing into hopefully being a professional. You may feel like you're a professional because you're now getting paid, but there's another level to this. So I would say stay locked in on perfecting your craft as a player, and don't let the money side of it that you're coming into so quickly overtake what your true passion is, and that's playing a sport and learning.
Yeah. You're in business, man. You're an entrepreneur, right? Co-founder of a company. And I ask this question to everyone who comes up here this year, because this is where we're at. It's the U.S. presidential race in now.
Yep.
What do you want to see? What do you want to hear from the candidates without choosing sides? Again, business is very important to how that process goes.
I think what I'm looking for and what I'd like to hear from any candidate is obviously a focus on black and brown entrepreneurs, making sure there are continued opportunities created for us, and things that extend during an actual term. There are always conversations prior that happen, but I would love to see more representation that are part of our cabinets, with some of our more established folks that understand the inner city, our communities, and being able to see some of that work really just continue on during the term.
Absolutely. Listen, go back to tell that young Mustafa Shakur, right, the one with NBA dreams. Go back and talk to that young Mustafa Shakur, the one with NBA dreams in Philly. What would you tell him now?
I would tell him to be proud of himself. I would tell the young version of me to, not be afraid, to take chances, take risk. Don't have anxiety about going into big rooms like this, and know that you're meant to be here. Yeah,
absolutely. Good to Great time, man. Jim Collins with a great business book, Good to Great. Did you read that book? Because you're a good book guy, man. You said you read a lot of books. I be watching the gram like, you got another one. I lost track, right? And so I'm sure you read that book.
Yeah, I love collecting books. And my dad passed away over a month ago, but that was his thing. On Sundays, thank you. On Sundays, he would take me to a bookstore and or a library and just grab new books. He was a ferocious reader, somebody that could read a book in one day, 500-page books, like I'd never seen it, and then be able to regurgitate it back to you and tell you what it's about. So I got that from him. I didn't know at first, but definitely got it from him.
Yeah, Good to Great. Did you read Who Moved My Cheese, Spencer Johnson?
I read that too.
Oh, phenomenal book, man.
So one of my favorite books that I always go back to is called 0 to 1.
0 to 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm glad. Forbes BLK, our leadership platform, they would love to hear that. 0 to 1. Make sure I really. Good to great, right? What is the difference between a good point guard and a great?
A good point guard is able to be an extension of the coach and run plays, run sets. I think a great point guard, someone like a Chris Paul, he's able to also do that, but he's also able to divert when necessary and then get back on the track of what the team's doing. So you have to be able to improvise at any time and run different plays, different sets, and then also be able to bring everyone back in and motivate everyone and be a leader. So I think that's the fine line of a difference, of being able to know when to divert and then bring it all back together.
Absolutely. Mustafa Shakur, man, appreciate so much of the time, my brother. Thank you. Congratulations,
Thank you for having me.
On getting this out, right? I
Absolutely.
mean, listen, we talk about the process behind the scenes and testing it. It's hard to get it on the shelves, right? And then it's also hard to convince an NBA team to take a chance on you, man. But, you're out here doing it, so congratulations to that. And I hope to have you back when y'all are in that Series A, B phase. Let me know,
look forward to it. Can't wait to come
absolutely.
back.
And by that point, Andre should be an investor, hopefully.
We hope so.
Yeah, absolutely. But I know Gillian Wallow will still probably be there, though.
They will definitely be there along with others that you'll see pop up, some big names.
Yeah.
We're looking forward
Might as well
to
go
having
get Beanie Siegel. Just get all about Philly, man. Get everybody from Philly.
Why
Man.
not?
Why not? Why not, man? Appreciate the time, man. Thank you so much, Mustafa Shakur, here at the Nasdaq MarketSite. I'm Jabari Young. See you next time.